All right. So, as many of you know, because I mentioned it in one of my speeches, I am a Buddhist. And when most people think about Buddhism, they think of this guy who's walking around, he's got a shaved head, and he's got this orange robe. And if anyone watched the Beijing Olympics or heard anything about it, you also think of himself barbecuing. Anyone gets that, at the Beijing Olympics, some Buddhists literally set themselves on fire to protest the treatment of them by the Chinese government. But to me, that's not real Buddhism, because a monastic life is not in real life. In the writings of Nichiren Daishonin was a Japanese monk who lived in the 12th century, 13th century, I apologize, 1200s, 13th century. And he was looking around at Japan, and he said, all right, so we're a Buddhist country, right? So then why do we have famine? Why do we have disease? Why do we have internal strife? He says, Buddhism is supposed to be the cessation of suffering. Why is this all happening? So he went through and he went through the entire canon of Buddhist scripture. And if you think that the Bible is a long book, you should try reading any one of the sutras. One sutra would go from here to here. You read all of them. And so eventually he came across the Lotus Sutra. Lotus Sutra was part of the Mahayana canon. Mahayana meaning greater vehicle. It was the teachings that were passed down through Sanskrit, as opposed to the Theravadan canon, which were passed down through Pali. They have very different teachings, one of them being more fundamental to basic practices, and the Mahayana canon being very esoteric at times. But in the Lotus Sutra, it says within it that it is the highest teaching for the past, the present, and the future. All three existences. Every time. And so, Myoho Renge Kyo. That is the title of the Lotus Sutra, as it's translated from the Chinese characters into Japanese. And Nam means devotion to, at least it does in Sanskrit. And so what we do as part of the SGI, Soka Gakkai International, means Value Creation Society, I have pamphlets and such. We chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. We can go really fast, or we can go really slow if someone's a new member. But in so doing, it says, it's very hard to make out right here, it says key to unlocking your highest potential. Everyone, every single one of you, has an inherent Buddha nature. In Christianity, we have this idea of original sin. Buddhism doesn't even, has no concept similar to that. The only time we'd ever bring it up is if we were talking about Christianity. In Buddhism, every person has the same ability to do great things as they do to do horrible things. In Buddhism, the concept of evil is defined as something that disrespects or devalues life. Whereas good is the exact opposite. It respects, it values life. So if a person wants to be compassionate, the way we see it, you can chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. If a person wants to get a better job, you can chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Most people say, that's witch doctor. What are you doing? You're just sitting there in front of a scroll, which we call the Gahanzen, is the representation of enlightened life. It's one of the tenets of our religion, and you just pray for random stuff. And we say, yeah, we do. I have personally prayed for, I have chanted for a job. I have chanted for money. I have chanted for someone's happiness. I've chanted for my own. All those have happened. I have seen people overcome cancer. I've seen people overcome drug addictions. And I have seen people overcome strokes. There was a man, he had a stroke. And his brain was without oxygen for so long that he was legally brain dead. And I knew some people that were chanting over him. And he woke up. And after he woke up, he was able to play the piano afterwards. And that is amazing. Because you're supposed to lose function after a stroke. So, my conclusion is going to be that we are starting up a metro state SGI. Soka International is the group we're part of. We're starting up an organization, and we're going to have meetings at least once a month. Actually, at least once a semester. We're going to have try. I'm pushing for more, honestly. Also, beyond that, if you take I have bad directions. Spear, a little bit down. There's going to be a 3-story white building. That's our culture center. It's our home base in Denver. And if anyone wants to learn more, I'll be happy to tell you. I got brochures right here, but if you don't want to read them, I'll talk from morning till dusk about this. But I sincerely believe that every single one of you has the potential to have unbreakable happiness with this practice. Thank you.